Okay, well, I'll go ahead and get started. Welcome everybody. Another one of these brief team sessions. I do these during the fall and spring semester. With just if you've never been to one of these, the idea is just that they're very specific, very short, for one small piece of very practical information that hopefully will be helpful to students and faculty if they're interested. And I'll talk about a resource that we've built for you today called, we call it Course Guides and Textbooks. In library land, it's called LibGuides, but nobody knows that has heard of that outside of libraries, so we call it Course Guides and Textbooks. And I'm just going to show you some things that you can find there. This is not really detailed. This is just kind of I mostly try to do this, especially for our new first-year students, so you kind of have some idea of where some resources are for you that could help you in your classes just starting out. So if you've never been to the LUCOM library page, the address is liberty.edu/lucom/library, so you can bookmark that, but this is what it looks like. And if you scroll down the library page, you'll see there's a little bit of information about the library, and then you'll see LUCOM library resources, Jerry Falwell library resources, and databases. And if you expand databases, I've put links, or I've asked for links to be put here to some of our most popular databases that are available. But this is not everything we have. These are just kind of quick links. We organize all of our electronic resources under this Course Guides and Textbooks link. So if you click on that, it will open up this page. And this is our LibGuide. You actually see it says LibGuides there, but this is, we call it Course Guides and Textbook. And this is where we put all the electronic resources that we have available to you. Some textbooks, some journal articles, research resources. And I actually have a YouTube channel where I upload all the recordings of these team sessions. So for people who can't make it after convocation on Wednesdays, you can go back and watch them whenever you want. And I try to keep those updated. So just a couple things that you'll find here. If you're not sure if we have something, a database, there's an A to Z database list. They're alphabetical. If you hover over one, it'll tell you what can be found in there. But everything we have here is the A to Z list, is all of our databases. Summon is the what sits on top of all the holdings of the entire university. So if you're not sure where to start, you're looking for a book or an article, you can just type the title, anything you have here, and search all the holdings. And it hovers here at the top of each of these pages. One of the things in particular I want you to be aware of is these course guides that we build for class year, semester, and course, and we try to put links to ebooks for your required textbooks if we have them available. We put some links to useful databases that you might want to use in that course. So for example, if you're a first-year student, at the beginning of the fall, you'll see OMS1 course guides, OMS1 fall, and then we have tabs for each of your courses. And for each one of these tabs, you'll see we've got different databases that could be useful, and we take the required and recommended textbooks. So let me see, for example, you're going to be starting with BPHOM. So these are some good databases. These are your required texts for the course. If we have them electronically, we put a link directly to that ebook over here underneath online at LUCOM. And if you're on campus and click on this, it'll just take you right to it. We use something called Open Athens for a proxy service. So if you're off campus at your apartment or something, and you open up this page and click on this, it'll ask you for your Liberty username and password, but that will give you access to that ebook once you log in. We have ebooks of a lot of your required textbooks and recommended textbooks. We don't have everything. Sometimes you just can't find a concurrent user license for an ebook for institutional access, but we do purchase physical copies of all your required textbooks. So if you're in the building and just need a copy of it, we'll have it out front that you can check out. So these are the course guides for the OMS1 and OMS2, and all of the fall courses are updated. I haven't yet updated spring courses, but they'll be updated before the spring semester starts. And then for our third years, we have required reading for different specialties for rotations. If you're interested in mobile medical apps, there's a link on the course guides and textbooks for some apps for some resources we have. You can use Clinical Key or Dynamed. UpToDate, those are more clinical, but EBSCO, if you want to use, we have access to Medline Ultimate, which is full text content from PubMed, and that's available through EBSCO. I put links here for Apple and Android, so depending what your device is. Diagnosaurus DDX is from McGraw-Hill. It's a differential diagnosis tool. It's not free, but it's very cheap. You have access to that on the web through Access Medicine for free, but they don't give us access to the app. So if you want to use the app on your phone, you have to purchase. It might be $5 or something. It's not very expensive. If you ever get interested in doing any research and you're looking for like health statistics or data, I have a page here, a tab for where you can search Google data sets. If you're looking for particular cohorts or particular topics you want to research. I've got a ton of health statistics and data resources here. These are all free and open. CDC Wonder is probably one of my favorites, but you can find things by populations, groups, cohorts, whatever particular like cancer trends progress report. There's a particular disease or treatment you're looking for. There's all kinds of stuff here that's available to you. I put a tab here for our physical resources, just so you guys know. If you've been in the library, you know we have study carrels, we have a bunch of study rooms that you can reserve for group study, and all the rooms in here have dry erase paint on the walls, so you can draw on them and do diagrams and notes and stuff. And you want to reserve those on 25 Live. And if you need help with any of that, you can ask here in the library and we'll show you how to do it. A couple more things that are available on this that I just kind of thought would be useful. Featured resources. This is basically the same things that you saw on the LUCOM library page. These are the ones that get used most heavily, partly because Dr. Schluid asked a question about a textbook that's available in Clinical Key. Pretty much, if your required textbook is published by a company called Elsevier, it's probably going to be in this Clinical Key collection. Not everything, but most every required textbook that's published by Elsevier is in Clinical Key. If your required textbook is published by McGraw-Hill, it's probably going to be in this Access Medicine. You might have some pharmacology textbooks that would be in Access Pharmacy, but those are both McGraw-Hill databases, and you have access to both of those. If you have a required textbook, for example, from Wolters Kluwer or Ovid, however you say it, or LWW, we have access to that through the Health Library, and also some that you'll use later in part of the Clerkship Collection, which is that same vendor. And when you guys get into anatomy, we have a bunch of anatomy atlases of anatomy available ebooks that are published by TEMA in the Med1 Education collection. I've put quick links. Also, there's links over here to those course guides I showed you, just like there's tabs across the top. There's links here to the class year, semester, and course guides. I put some quick links when you guys, I don't know if you'll use a lot of this, especially if you're a first year student, but when you start to get further into the program, if you're doing any kind of research or writing manuscript for submission for an article, we have links to the AMA writing guide, the APA writing guide, American Medical Association, American Psychiatric Association. In the past, Dr. Hemrick, I know, had used some bits of an open access textbook that I've linked directly to. This is something we didn't have to pay for. We just have access. It's open access, so we have access to it for you. It's cell biology, genetics, and biochemistry for preclinical students. So if you need that, that's there. Some of this stuff, the workbooks that I've shared for screening articles, that has to do with systematic review research. You probably, unless you're further along, you won't be doing a lot of that. If you're interested in copyright issues, I have a fair use checklist. If you're a faculty member and you're not sure how you want to make attribution or whether or not something counts as fair educational use, I've got a checklist here that actually just kind of lets you go through and tick off things that are either favoring or against fair use. And generally, most of the things that we do here at LUCOM, if you're using copyrighted material, most of it falls under fair educational use. It gets a little trickier when you're submitting, like, a book chapter or a journal article. Another open access textbook is a handbook of eHealth evaluations, evidence-based approach. So I'm not sure if any of your faculty are going to use that this year, but in the past we have. If you're ever looking for an article, we have access to a ton of journal holdings here at Liberty. We get to share all of our resources with the Jerry Falwell Library down the hill, so you have access to a lot. But if you're ever not able to find full text immediate access to an article, you can submit an ILL, interlibrary loan. That's just done through the Jerry Falwell Library. If you don't want to mess with that, if you want to send me the citation, the DOI, whatever information you have about it, I'll do it for you. The turnaround's very quickly. I'm happy to help with that. I don't want to spend too much time on all the rest of this stuff. If you're looking for a journal, Liberty has a research journal called Liberty Medicine Research Journal is available through Curious, which you should check that out. I've linked to some pertinent current COVID-19 research. RefWorks is the citation manager that Liberty purchases, so you have access to that. I also put a link to Zotero because that's just the citation manager that I like. And if you get involved in research, I'll show you this SR accelerator. If you're not sure what all this stuff is right now, especially if you're a first-year student, I'll be doing these team sessions every Wednesday, and every Wednesday I'll pick a different thing and I'll show how you can use it, what it can be used for. So don't worry about it if you're not familiar with a lot of this stuff. I put an RSS feed for trending articles in PubMed if you just want to keep up with current research that's being published. Something that's kind of cool we got a couple years ago. My mom is a retired RN, and we always had a Merck manual on the bookshelf when I was growing up. But they have this widget now that's freely available, and they have consumer and professional versions of the Merck manual, which is it's just like a clinical point of care reference tool, or if you're looking for information about some kind of treatment or something, or even drug information. There's all kinds of stuff in there. It's pretty cool, especially for a free resource from Merck. Lastly, like today, I'm recording this team session. I'll record these every Wednesday. So for those that can't make it, if you're interested but don't have time, I have a YouTube channel and I put all these recordings on there and I link to all of them here. So if you ever miss one, you're like, oh, I can't remember what I really wanted to go to that. There's a recorded. They're all recorded right here. And I try to keep these updated. I'll try to go through, and as I make new versions of things, if resources change, I'll try to remove the old ones. But if you're ever interested, I call them brief how-to sessions here, but they're all available there. So that's basically the gist of what I wanted to show today. I know it's not very technical, but it's just we try to make everything as easy as possible to find for any resources that you want to use for your courses, or if you're faculty, for building your lectures. I'm trying to think something I won't show today, but as you get further on in the semester, a lot of these resources like Access Medicine, Clinical Key, LWW, they have study resources for like self-assessment. When it's cool because it pulls quizzes from a lot of your required textbooks. So you can actually get study questions, quiz questions for yourself that are pulled directly from the publisher of your required textbooks. And I'll show that at a later time, but be looking out for that. So again, that's very quick. Hopefully this is something that's either, if it's new to you, that it's useful, or if you weren't aware of this before and you've been at LUCOM for a while, hopefully this will be useful for you going forward this semester. I appreciate everybody's time, and I hope everybody has a good day.
Thank you, Rob.
Absolutely, Dr. Seiler.
Thanks, Rob.
Absolutely, Dr. Shalou. You'll have a good day.
You too. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.